Humza Yousaf is facing another nightmare as even the senior members of his own party are now questioning the legitimacy of his leadership election result, as they are now saying that they might have to do another vote. Oh, the honeymoon period for Humza is being shorter than any other leader I've seen, even shorter than Liz Truss. I know that she actually had to resign, but the honeymoon period for Liz Truss at least lasted for about a couple of weeks. She was still popular, and people were saying, "Ah, yes, she could be Margaret Thatcher 2.0." That didn't go too well for the Tories. But with Humza, it lasted about 10 minutes because he was literally halfway through the first day of his new leadership position and as First Minister of Scotland that all the scandals came out. And it's not just about what's going on with the financial corruption. You've got the gender recognition bill battle between the Scotland and the Westminster Parliament and everything else. So this leadership election image and all the photos we've had, it feels like, on the one hand, it feels like years ago. But also, obviously, it was 10 minutes ago. Now, we might have another election. They might have to do a rerun of the whole contest because he doesn't have the backing of everybody. The senior members, including, for example, Angus MacNeil, who's one of the senior members of parliament for the SNP, who's come out to say that Peter Murrell appears to have intervened to significantly shorten the election process after the First Minister surprised everyone with her resignation on the 15th of February. We then had the issue of the media being misled on membership numbers, which led to Communications Director Murray Foots and Murrell's resignation. I mean, yeah, we kind of forgot all this happened within a couple of weeks. And so much happened, and so much absolute chaos happened. He continues by saying that after this, Party HQ rejected a reasonable proposal to allow members to change their votes before the ballot closed. Peter Murrell has now been arrested as part of a fraud investigation into the SNP finances shortly after the result, and that obviously changes a lot of things, obviously. Now, Angus says, there are clearly questions to answer here. If it is the case that Peter's arrest has been delayed to allow the First Minister to resign and the vote to take place, then that could have had a material impact on the election result. It seems unlikely that the continued candidate would have cut it if all of this had been known beforehand. I absolutely agree with Angus MacNeil on this issue because not only Peter Murrell was running the whole election, his wife literally just resigned, and there was a continued candidate, which was Humza Yousaf. He was refusing to release the numbers of the members, how many members they had. The election process was very quick. They didn't allow them to consider the votes of members. He was arrested, and so much has happened. So technically, you can question the legitimacy of the contest, but the main question is the current SNP executive and the committee are going to consider this election result void? Are they going to actually call another vote? Or are we just going to have the situation happen by default? Because if this corruption investigation continues and if somehow Humza Yousaf gets involved and his name comes up, he might have to resign. So the election will have to happen again anyway. And we might actually end up with Kate Forbes, which will be quite interesting to see what happens to the SNP as a party if Kate Forbes becomes leader. Anyway, the timetable was announced after a meeting of the party's National Executive Committee. A source said that a paper was presented to the NEC at the meeting in the week after Nicola Sturgeon's resignation, recommending the shortened timeline. That was 100% being driven by Peter Murrell, her husband, even if the paper was in the National Secretary's name. Wow. He was in complete control of the election process. Something that we already knew. We already talked about this at the time, a couple of weeks ago when we were covering the election of the SNP. We did say that, well, we're not stupid. We can see without knowing the details, we could see that Peter Murrell is basically in charge of the whole process. So this is not really surprising, but it is shocking to actually see that it's been confirmed, our theories at the time. So realistically, the legitimacy is right to be questioned, But at the same time, are we going to have another election? Is that likely? Are they going to be transparent for once or not? I'm not really that optimistic, but we'll see how it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.